chose to do only the reporting tool because that's the tool that inspired us the most to make something meaningful. And instead of going to the nitty-gritty of my reporting tool, I'm immediately going to use a case study of a certain Mr. X, who is a resident in the UK, who's recently had an internet subscription for 3 years, and then one day his internet service provider sent a technician to his house to change his router for a better one. That's okay, but then at the end of the month, he saw that his monthly internet fee was raised by 15%, and he asked himself, is that legal? Can they do that without my consent? What should I do as a consumer? So he went on Google, he Googled, well, can my internet service provider do that without my permission? And then he just stumbled upon the famous single digital gateway, the Europe site, and he went on the Internet Access tab, and he looked for an answer to his specific question, but he didn't find any. So he looked in the links, which are further down, about the Facebook links, the Twitter links, the LinkedIn links, but there too, he didn't find any answer that was meaningful enough to him. So he emailed the European institutions with another link down in this page. But then again, he didn't receive a response immediately. He didn't get an answer to his problem immediately. So then he saw that little button, which is our project. It's called the React Story tool. And he said, oh, story, I've read about user stories on the European Digital Gateway. I like them because it talked about real life problems and people speaking in simple terms that I could understand about problems of everyday life that he could relate to actually. So he said, maybe if I click there, I can write my own story for everyone to see. So he clicked on it, and sorry for the UI, we just integrated it to the site. It was pretty difficult. Those are the hot topics. I'm going to come to that in a second. But then he saw that tab, which is how we gather the user data. They write reports, which are stories. So the report is made of a title, a message, his country, and then a CAPTCHA, submit button. So when he submits that, the words in the title, the message, and the search bar upstairs are compared to a database containing an index of pertinent keywords. And so those pertinent keywords are going to help us to create a way for users to actually see an influence on what happens on the site, and also for the European institutions to have a feedback. I'll come to that too in a second. So first of all, for the users, so they're compared to an index in a database, and the hottest topics, it means the topics, as you see, that contain the keywords that come up the most are on the top of the list. So for example here, by chance, it's his problem. So he clicks on it, and here we can see, so it's also from the UK. Somebody wrote increased internet cost, and a moderator, there are many messages, reports. A moderator picked one that he found was the most clear and answered it actually. He actually gave feedback. It may seem like nothing, it's just a sentence. Amid contract price is against EU regulations. But that goes a long way for the users. It may be just one sentence, but that means a lot for them. That means that a European person actually answered their question, for real. That's for the users. And when it comes to how are the European institutions reading that data, it's interesting because they get the data in the form of charts, 4 charts to be precise. Those charts tell them where the problems are popping up, when, and thanks to the keywords, they get more precise insight on what exactly those problems are. So the first chart is a map of Europe, as you can see. The countries with that are in the deeper shade of red get the most. Means they have the most reports popping up. So when you click on a country, you get another chart which says how many obstacle reports are popping up per unit of time, day, month, or year. Then when you click on that bar, you get another chart where you can see the keywords and how the keywords are linked together. So you can see here 4G is often linked with cross-border. Why? That could be interesting to pinpoint exactly what is going on. And then when you click on that bubble, you should get an analysis like this, which links one keyword to another keyword, and then you get you can actually see the user's reports. You can actually click on them and read them individually. And that's the flow of how it goes. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.